Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing the bookish tag. I was tagged by Andrea over at Andrea Reads. I will link her down below. If you don't already know, you can check her out. And we will get right into it. So the first question is, how many books do you currently own? I have 156 books at the moment. I recently as in like December, did a really big unhaul because I went through like a minimalism phase. I say phase because I did not totally understand what I wanted out of minimalism, and now I'm focusing more on like just focusing on things that I actually enjoy and having things that only mean things to me. But at the time I was like, I just need to get rid of all my stuff, like I have too much stuff, and it was very like thing focused, and so I got rid of a bunch of books. Mostly they were books that I was never going to read again, or like had been given to me or stuff like that, you know, but there were a few that I regret giving away. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but there were a few that I wish I had kept. But basically I did unhaul like maybe 40 or 50 books, so still I was probably around 200 and now I'm at like 150. Question 2 is, how many books are you currently reading? As of right now, 3, but like 2 days ago I was reading 4. This is not typical for me. I really like to read one book at a time, but at the moment I was reading Maid for the Owls. I just finished that recently, but I got bored about halfway through it, and so I started reading The Beast Within, which was my final book for the Owls Readathon, and then I got bored with that, and so I started reading Children of Blood and Bone, which has been on my TBR for a while. It's been sitting on my shelf. It was not part of my Owls TBR, but I decided to do it anyway because I wanted to read it and I had enough time to finish it. So I'm like 100 pages from the end on that. So that's 3 books. And then also I'm reading a book called Brother, I'm Dying for one of my classes. It's a memoir slash like realistic. It's like a true story. It's not exactly a memoir, I guess, because it's not like just the author's point of view. It's also like her story of her father and her uncle, and them like growing up in Haiti and all kinds of stuff, and it's really good so far. I'm almost done with it. I'm like 100 pages from the end on that as well, so if you're interested in that, I would highly recommend that as well. So yes, I'm reading 3 books right now, and I just finished 1, so I was reading 4 at once. So question 3 is a book you read that you did not enjoy, and I feel like I'm gonna make some people mad with this, but I'm gonna have to go with The Night Circus for this one. Hear me out, I don't hate this book, I just did not like it as much as I expected to like it, because I heard so many things about this book. Like, people were raving about it, and it was good, I just didn't love it. I know there were like a lot of moving parts and it made it a little more of a difficult read. I'm not saying it was hard to read, because like it wasn't exactly, but I just didn't like the way it was written. I didn't like all the moving parts. I wasn't able to really get into the characters. The love story just didn't feel very, I don't know, like it was presented as maybe being a love story, and it just wasn't for me. Like, I didn't really care about that part of the story, and also just like a lot of it was not really interesting for me. It was a very interesting concept. I think that I could have enjoyed it. I just didn't. I might give it another shot at some point. I do want to read The Starless Sea because I've also heard good things about that. So I'm not totally done with it, but I did not enjoy it on my first read. Also, most recently, I did not really enjoy Maid. I did like the first half of it and like the last 30 pages of it, but like it got really slow in the middle, and I know it's a memoir, so like it's a little bit too dry and too just like drawing on, with some things being really repetitive and just stuff like that. Question 4 is a cover buy, and for this one, I'm gonna have to go with Words in Deep Blue. I got this at Blackwell's bookstore in Oxford, I believe, when I went to the UK after I graduated high school, and I wanted to buy a book from this bookstore and I didn't know what to buy, and so I don't know, I could have bought so many other books, but I decided to pick up this one because it had a really pretty cover. I rarely do cover buys. I really don't like buying books just based on the cover because I'm scared I won't like them and then I'll have wasted my money. Books can be expensive, but I think this one was like not super expensive. Yeah, it was only $7.99, so I ended up getting it. And I'm really glad I did. It was a really fun YA like romance read, and I didn't expect to like it so much, but I did, and I'm glad because the cover is so pretty. But basically, it's a little romance between 2 people working at a used bookstore. They used to know each other, and then the girl moved away. Her brother's just died, and so she's come back to this town, and they leave notes for each other in the pages of old books, and I just think it's really cute, and I would recommend if you want just like a fun little read, and it's really cute and pretty, and yeah, this was my cover buy. Question 5 is a little bit of the opposite. It's a book that you hate the cover of, and I'm gonna have to go with City of Bones. I really don't like the cover of City of Bones. I really don't like the cover of most of the Mortal Instruments books. I do like the more recent ones, and I do like the Infernal Devices covers, the newer ones, but I don't like a lot of the old covers just because I just don't, it looks like something that I would not pick up at a bookstore. Like, I know I've read it, I picked it up at a bookstore and I read it, but this does not look like something I would see on the shelf and be like, wow, I want to read this book. Like, look at this shirtless guy on the cover. Like, this is something I want to read. It just doesn't appeal to me. I love the stories, but the book just, look at the cover. Like, I just don't like it. And also, you probably can't see it from here, but I have the Maze Runner in like the normal cover, and then I have the movie version of the Scorch Trials, and I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I bought the Scorch Trials in the movie version because the spine does not match. I don't understand my book buying tendencies from like 3 years ago. But anyways, I have that cover and I refuse to look at it because it bothers me so much. I did the same thing with the Kill Order, and I don't even know, it's not even the movie version, it's just a different cover, and they sell them all in the same spines, so I don't know where I found them, but I have 3 different covers for the Maze Runner series, and now they don't fit together, so. Question 6 is a book I have not read in years, and this one would be The Hunger Games. I really want to reread this because I've forgotten so much, and I love the story, and it was like really big part of my childhood, I guess, and I really love it, but I just haven't read it in so long, and I want to watch the movies again too, and it was like fun. As fun as dystopians can be, I guess, but like I want to reread it, and I haven't read it in a really long time, but I do have all 3, so I can easily do it right now while we're all stuck at home. Maybe I will, maybe I'll do that after, but this one I have not read in several years. I have never reread The Hunger Games, so after the first time I read it when it came out, I just have not picked it back up. But, fun fact, Mockingjay was actually the very first book I ever reread, though I didn't reread it in its entirety. I found it while I was cleaning something once, and I picked it up, flipped to halfway through the book, and then just sat down and started reading it, and I didn't expect, I thought I was just gonna like read a few pages, and then I ended up finishing it. So at that point I was like, wow, I don't remember most of this book, maybe I should reread, but I never went back and reread The Hunger Games, so maybe I should do that. Maybe it's time for that. Question 7 is a book you will always recommend, and I actually have 2 for this. So first of all, I have Looking for Alaska. I love this book so much. I love rereading this book. It gets me every single time, and I most recently read it on vacation on a train ride, and so it was like sentimental value, I guess. And it's just one of those paperbacks that's not super long, and you can just toss in your bag and read whenever, and I just love it a lot. And if you haven't read it, you should read it. I literally have like tickets from Canada in here. Anyways, so you should read this book. I will always recommend Looking for Alaska. And then second, I have We Were Liars. I've only read this once, and it doesn't exactly have any sentimental value for me, but the plot twist in this book is just, I'm not gonna spoil anything because you have to read this. Like, I don't care if you don't read this genre, like, read this book because you'll be shook. Like, I rhymed. My friend recommended this to me, and I was like not gonna read it, and then I saw it at Second and Charles. I was doing like a birthday book haul or something, on sale books, and I found the deluxe edition, and I got excited and I got it, and I'm glad because it was so good. And I wish I could re-experience that plot twist because it was so good. I don't even know, like, you have to read this book. Question 8 is all-time favorite series, and I like shouldn't even bother answering this question because obviously it's Harry Potter. Like, it is absurd for me to even consider putting anything else above Harry Potter as my all-time favorite series. Not because, like, it is just that good literarily, because, like, there's probably other books that might be better, but just for me, like, Harry Potter made up such a big part of my childhood that I cannot feasibly put anything else above it. But if we were just to put Harry Potter to the side and pick something else, then I would have to pick The Infernal Devices. It's probably like my second favorite series. There's a lot of books I really love, but The Infernal Devices is like the series I read immediately after Harry Potter. I read it when I was 10 or 11. I think 10. I read it when I was 9 or 10 actually. So I think a lot for me just has to do with sentimental value. I'm a very sentimental person, and so all the books I read like as a child are my favorites still, and I really want to find more favorite books because I feel like it's kind of bad to just crave all the books that I used to read. But Harry Potter and then The Infernal Devices. Question 9 is where do you read? And literally everywhere is my answer. I'll read on the floor. I've read at concerts. I almost always have a book at a friend's house. Like, I usually carry around a book with me everywhere. In recent years, I haven't been doing it as much just because I haven't read as much in recent years, and so I almost never got the time to just have a book with me. But I do want to start doing that again because I used to always have a book with me, and I would literally read in the most inopportune places. Like, I pulled out a book at Austin City Limits while waiting for one of the bands to come out. It was like 90 degrees and I was surrounded by sweaty people. Probably not the best environment for a book. I think I put it away pretty quickly because it started getting bent, but I did have one there, so I can still tell people that I had a book at this festival. Question 10 is your last 2 5-star ratings. So first of all, I have Circe. This cover is gorgeous, this book is gorgeous, I love the story, I love Greek mythology, and I did not know the story of Circe very much because I haven't read the Odyssey, but I'm so glad I picked this up as my first book of 2020. It's literally so good. I cried while reading it. I will also always recommend this one. I could probably have put it on something else, but I did rate this 5 stars and I would rate it again. Like, I just finished it recently this year and I already want to reread it because it was that good. Like, I could open this to a page and just quote something out of it. So, and if we're counting rereads, then obviously Clockwork Angel, the entire oh my gosh, I can't speak. And if we are counting rereads, I would rate the entire Infernal Devices series as 5 stars. That's my most recent reread, and I loved it and I cried, as I always do. And finally, for people I tag, first of all, I'd like to tag Ness from Wonderness. I love her videos. You should check her out if you don't already watch her. I will link her down below. Second, I would like to tag Divya and also Belle. They are small booktubers that I recently found through BookTutor, and I love their content, and you should also check them out down below. I will link everything down there as well as put the questions. If you want to do this tag and you haven't done it yet, feel free. I also tag you. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had fun filming it. Hopefully my camera didn't die in the middle of it because that would suck. But if we made it to the end, if I made it to the end, I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, leave a like, comment what you thought, and let me know down below. I will see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.